Good evening, friends. Welcome once again to another session of Manthan. In this session, we are going to study about multiverse. Multiverse is basically the existence of parallel universes. It is proposed that apart from our universe, our own solar system, our own Milky Way, many galaxies, all the possible the universe that we recognize as celestial bodies, we recognize as universe. Apart from that, there are parallel universes which are similar to ours. They may not be similar, they may be dissimilar also. What is said is that they are characterized by their own physical laws. It is not just physics. They have their own chemistry, they have their own biology, makeup, constitution. So in a sense, each universe has a model of its own. So to understand multiverse, we need to understand the kind of model of universe that we are living in. And our model, there are many equations, mathematical formulae to suggest what our universe is. But we are now in the realms of infinity and nothingness, wherein these equations are also seem to falter. So it is better that we go to the most basic model. Let us say that our model is either the universe exists or the universe does not exist. When the universe exists, that means there is something is there. When the universe does not exist, that means there is nothingness. So let us assume for a moment, let us pictorially take a look at this, wherein that something is denoted by 1, binary 1, and the nothing is denoted by binary 0. So when you have something or nothing, this can also be pictorially represented as something inside nothing. So this something is the universe that we are a part of, and this is expanding inside the nothingness. That is the 0 that is shown here. So to understand this model of universe, it's important for us to know how this model starts, how it ends, and in between how it grows. Is there a chance of it ebbing? It's important for us to study all these aspects. So let us try and study what it is made up of and whether it is growing and what are the chances of it is ending. So this is the universe, the one something that I talked to you about. The constituents are just the way when you want to build a home, you need money, a plot of land and labor to build that home. In the same way, you need energy, space and time. Energy, space and time to build a beautiful universe. So obviously, energy, space and time become the 3 basic constituents. If you want to build a universe, those are the 3 basic minimum constituents. So Manthan presents them as this. This is 1, which is existence. Beyond this existence is nothingness, as is shown here. And this particular existence I have shown as the larger circle as the pure energy here. And then space and times are the subsets of the larger energy. Space and time, they feed on the pure energy, but the total energy in the system remains the same. As time progresses, space and time, they grow as they feed on energy. In the sense, the energy on the pure side is getting compensated. Now, this is what we call it as the basic constituent model of our model of universe. And we need to see whether this universe is growing or ebbing. So it was seen by Hubble during 1920 when he observed the celestial bodies in the night sky. He observed that almost all the galaxies were moving away from each other. They were of course accelerating and moving away from each other, suggesting that maybe sometime in the distant past, all of these galaxies which are moving away from each other would have started from a single point. And that point we know it as the starting point for our universe, which we call it as Big Bang. And this Big Bang is, since the entire mass or the energy of the universe is concentrated in a very small area, That is why it is we call it as infinite pressure and infinite temperature existing at Big Bang. And the classical model of universe also says that, you know, before the Big Bang, it's nothingness. This is 0, this is 1. So we need to now, we have seen that this universe is expanding. If this universe was expanding, and if it was just one Big Bang, in the sense nothingness, Big Bang, and then the universe expanding, and everything keeps moving away from each other, and maybe after a few billion or trillion of years, you would see the night sky as dark. You would not see a single star because everything is moving away. This could be a possible option. Another option could be that this universe itself is collapsing on its own, and to come back to Big Bang once again, in the sense it is a Big Bang 2.0. Again, a new universe, cycle of universe starts. That means that the universe is more cyclical. So it is important for us to see whether there is a chance that this universe may collapse. So for that, we need to see how the space, time, and energy, the constituents of the universe, interact with each other. We had seen during the Manthan model of spacity that when you study the interaction of space with energy and all its forms, when I say energy and all its forms, energy in the purest sense, in the purest form, and then matter, life. So when you see its interaction with space, there is a negative effect, there is a decadent effect. So which means that the space has a negative effect on all forms of energy, whether it is pure energy or any other form of energy. And we had also seen during the Manthan model that this action of space on all forms of energy is derived from the mandate of spacity, wherein it wants to act on all forms of energy. And how it acts, we had seen, it depends on the status of the mass that it is in, S1, S2 or S3 form. Now when you see this, this could be pictorially represented as this energy is the genie which has escaped the bottle of nothingness at Big Bang, and this space is trying to put all of this energy back into the bottle of nothingness. So when you have a representation like this in Manthan cycle, it is proposed, postulated in this particular cycle. So what we have here is, the first part of course is the cyclic, the classical model of universe also proposes that from nothingness you have a Big Bang, and then you have space inflation where the space expands at a speed higher than the light itself, the speed of light itself, and then the universe is seen to be expanding. This part, this half is the classical model of universe. The next part is what is proposed by Manthan model, is that the space acting on all forms of energy, there will be a time when space, the energy that is related to space, will be more than the pure energy magnitude, and that is when the space will tip over energy, and that there will be a possible time wherein the space will fight back and the space will win over its tussle with the energy. And when the space is fighting back, obviously the volume is shrinking, and obviously when this volume is shrinking, you can see that when it is being brought to the starting point of nothingness, that is where the volume is becoming zero. And volume is becoming zero, the pressure and the temperature are infinite. That means it started, the universe started with infinite level, and then when it is brought back, the energy, the pure energy in the whole system is restored. The infinite level of the pure energy is restored. So it is okay to have a proposition like this or a postulation like this, but it would always help if you have some theorems or some equations to try and analyze this. We could either come up with an equation of our own, Or rather than in reinventing the wheel, what we could do is try and see if there is any model which is a part of the classical model of universe, which is analyzed, studied, which we could use. When you see a cycle like this, where you have a big bang, space inflation, expanding universe, and the space fighting back and being put back into nothingness, you would see that this cycle is very similar to the IC engine cycle that we see either in a motorcycle or a car. So, and we know that it is basically a heat engine. So if at all we are able to convert this postulation into something similar to a heat engine, it is easier for us to analyze because the equations are already available. The CARNOT cycle explains it very neatly. So let us next go to the possible explanation that all this universe could be acting like a huge CARNOT cycle or an ideal universe.